What if I told you Hollywood's biggest secret love affair was never meant to be discovered? Tom Cruise, the man who risks his life for every movie, Ana de Armas, the woman who conquered Hollywood's heart. Together they shared a passion so powerful. It scared them both, and when the truth came out, it shattered everything. This is the hidden story of how Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas fell in love, and why it ended in silence. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now let's dive into what really happened. When two of Hollywood's most magnetic stars start seeing each other in secret, you know the world's about to talk. Tom Cruise, the unstoppable, ageless action hero, a man whose name has been synonymous with adrenaline for over 4 decades. From Top Gun to Mission Impossible, Tom isn't just an actor. He's a global phenomenon. Every stunt he performs, every movie he headlines, carries the weight of his legend. Behind the million-dollar smile and confident aura lies a man obsessed with excellence, discipline, and legacy. And then there's Ana de Armas, the Cuban-born starlet who went from humble beginnings in Havana to ruling Hollywood's biggest screens. She broke through in Knives Out, charming the world with her raw emotion and magnetic presence. Soon after, she stepped into one of the most iconic roles in film history, Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, proving that she wasn't just another beautiful face, she was a force of nature. Now imagine these two worlds colliding. No one saw it coming. No tabloids, no rumors, not even the eagle-eyed paparazzi. It all began quietly. A few professional meetups, mutual admiration at film events, and long, thoughtful conversations about fame and loneliness. Both stars had tasted the highs of success and the emptiness it often brings. They connected not through glamour, but through understanding. Sources close to them whispered that Tom was instantly intrigued by Ana's energy. She wasn't starstruck or intimidated. She was calm, grounded, and focused, qualities that Tom respected deeply. He had met countless people in Hollywood, but Ana felt different. Her authenticity broke through his guarded personality. Ana, on the other hand, found Tom fascinating. Behind his perfect posture and action hero confidence, she saw a man constantly striving for something more. Not fame, but purpose. She admired his work ethic, his fearlessness, and his intensity. In a town full of facades, Tom's directness was refreshing. As days turned into weeks, what started as professional respect slowly evolved into a deeper bond. They began spending more time together, often away from the public eye. Quiet dinners in private villas, long phone calls across time zones, and shared stories about their struggles with fame. It wasn't a whirlwind romance built on glitter and headlines. It was subtle, quiet, and deeply personal. Tom found in Ana a softness that reminded him of simplicity, of real connection beyond the chaos of movie sets. Ana found in Tom a mentor, a protector, and someone who truly understood the sacrifices of stardom. Insiders claim that they would often talk about films, their dreams, and how hard it was to live in a world where every emotion could become a headline. They found peace in each other's company, something both had been missing for years. Still, they knew the storm that could follow if word got out. Tom's relationships had always made the front page. From Nicole Kidman to Katie Holmes, every chapter of his love life had been dissected by the media. Ana, still rising fast in her career, didn't want that kind of attention. She had just escaped the spotlight of her relationship with Ben Affleck, and she was determined not to be defined by another man's fame. So they kept it hidden, carefully, quietly. No red carpets together, no public photos, just stolen moments in the shadows of fame. But Hollywood is a small town, and secrets don't stay buried for long. Rumors started to swirl when Ana was spotted on the set of Mission Impossible 7, where Tom was shooting. Was it just a friendly visit, or something more? Fans began piecing together clues, matching travel dates, overlapping film locations, and subtle gestures in interviews that hinted at something unspoken. Behind closed doors, the connection between them grew stronger. They shared laughter, late-night talks, and moments of rare vulnerability. Both were driven, ambitious, and passionate, but also lonely in their own ways. Their relationship became a sanctuary, a place where fame couldn't touch them. And yet, deep down, both knew that Hollywood romances rarely stay hidden forever. The lights always find their way in. Soon, admiration would turn into affection, affection into love, and love into a story that Hollywood would never officially confirm, but would never forget either. Because when Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas came together, it wasn't just another celebrity fling. It was a rare connection between two souls who lived under constant spotlight, yet found their brightest moments in the dark, away from the cameras. It was unexpected. It was powerful, and it was the beginning of a story the world would soon uncover. Inside Ana de Armas and Tom Cruise's secret split. Their connection grew quietly, in dimly lit restaurants, private jet rides, and hidden villas tucked away from the noise of fame. London, Paris, and Rome became their playgrounds, not for publicity, but for privacy. Away from red carpets and flashing cameras, they laughed, shared stories, and built a bond few ever suspected. Insiders later revealed that Tom Cruise was absolutely smitten. The usually composed, guarded star found himself doing things he hadn't done in years, planning surprises, sending handwritten notes, and arranging secret getaways where no one could find them. Tom wasn't just dating Ana. He was mesmerized by her. Her natural charm, her accent, her laughter. It all reminded him of a time when love felt simple and real. Those close to Tom said he hadn't looked this happy in years. He even started introducing Ana to his closest circle, something he rarely did. For a man who lived with walls built around him, this was huge. To his trusted friends and team, he spoke highly of her intelligence, her strength, and how she didn't treat him like a movie star. Ana, however, stayed grounded. She had seen how fame could twist love stories. Her relationship with Ben Affleck had taught her a hard lesson, that in Hollywood, privacy isn't protection, it's survival. She knew what public romance could do, the endless headlines, the false stories, the emotional exhaustion. So from the beginning, she and Tom made a pact. Keep it private, keep it real. And for a while, it worked. They became masters of secrecy. Separate entrances at restaurants, coded messages between assistants, and weekend escapes to remote places. To the outside world, they were just two megastars living separate lives. But behind the curtain, there was connection, deep, emotional, and unexpected. Still, even in Hollywood, secrets have a short shelf life. Whispers began spreading in late 2021. A few eagle-eyed fans noticed Ana traveling to some of the same locations where Tom's Mission Impossible 7 was filming. Then came the rumors. Had she visited him on set? Was she joining the movie? Or was there something more behind her quiet presence? When Ana was spotted near the production site in London, speculation exploded online. Tabloids picked it up instantly. Suddenly, TikTok, Twitter, and entertainment blogs were full of theories. Are Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas secretly dating? Neither confirmed anything. No photos, no statements, just silence. And that silence made the rumors even louder. Fans began to find clues, cryptic Instagram captions that seemed to align, matching travel schedules, and reports of both attending private events in the same cities. At one point, a stylist even hinted at working with them as a couple for a closed event, fueling even more curiosity. Hollywood insiders soon began calling them the most secret couple in the industry. Behind the glamour, though their relationship wasn't picture perfect. The connection was real, but so were the challenges. Tom lived a life of structure and control, every day carefully planned, every decision measured. His world revolved around massive productions, dangerous stunts, and global media scrutiny. Ana, meanwhile, craved freedom. Long walks, art galleries, spontaneous road trips. She wanted love to feel light and human, not like another role in a script. For Tom, secrecy was safety. For Ana, it sometimes felt like a cage. There were days when they'd go weeks without seeing each other, caught up in different film schedules. Tom's intense commitment to his craft often left little space for personal time, while Ana's rising fame brought her into new circles and creative projects. Despite the distance, the affection remained. They texted, called, and tried to bridge the gap, but slowly, cracks began to appear, not from a lack of emotion, but from the sheer weight of their worlds. Friends of Ana reportedly noticed her becoming quieter during this time, more reflective. She was proud of how far she had come, but uncertain if the relationship fit into the future she envisioned. Meanwhile, those around Tom said he admired Ana's independence, but struggled to fully understand her need for distance from the spotlight. For a man who had built his entire life inside the public eye, Her desire for normalcy was something foreign, and perhaps a little heartbreaking. And so behind closed doors the fairy tale began to tremble. Not because the love faded, but because the reality of who they were, two stars with galaxies between them, became impossible to ignore. The world still didn't know what was happening. But something was changing. The same secrecy that had once protected their love was now quietly pulling them apart. Their story, once filled with laughter and stolen glances, was about to face its hardest test yet. A choice between holding on and letting go. Behind the flashing lights, red carpets and glossy magazine covers, there was a silent storm brewing, one that no camera ever caught. On the surface, Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas looked like a dream pairing, Hollywood royalty and rising queen. But when the cameras turned off, their worlds couldn't have been more different. Tom Cruise has spent his entire life chasing perfection. Every movie he makes is a mission, literally. He doesn't just act, he lives the role. From climbing skyscrapers to hanging off airplanes, he pushes himself to limits that most people can't even imagine. His dedication to his craft is unmatched, almost military-like. Every meal, every workout, every hour of his day has purpose and precision. His close friends say he's the kind of man who sets his alarm for 4 a.m. just to get ahead of the day. Someone who thrives on structure, control, and discipline. That's the world he knows. That's the world that built the legend of Tom Cruise. Ana de Armas, however, came from a completely different space. She's warmth and emotion, a woman who believes in living fully, not perfectly. Born and raised in Havana, she grew up dreaming big but staying grounded. She carries that energy even now, vibrant, curious, and always chasing moments that feel real. Where Tom's life was built around discipline, Ana's was built around passion. She paints, she travels, she dances barefoot in her living room. She believes in feeling life, not controlling it. And that difference, that beautiful contrast, was what drew them together at first. Tom was fascinated by Ana's spontaneity, her ability to smile even on chaotic days. Ana admired Tom's focus and ambition, but as their relationship deepened, what once felt like balance started to feel like tension. According to people close to them, Ana sometimes felt overwhelmed by the intensity of Tom's world. His schedule was packed, his security team ever present, his routines unwavering. Every move was planned, every word carefully managed. At first, Ana tried to adapt. She joined him on private flights, attended closed events, even learned to adjust to the rhythm of his highly structured lifestyle. But slowly, she began to feel like she was losing a part of herself. The spontaneous, carefree side that made her who she was. Then there was the public pressure. Dating Tom Cruise meant being watched, constantly. Every step, every smile, every outfit became a story. Even though they tried to keep things private, Ana could feel the eyes of the world on her. The whispers grew louder, the paparazzi followed closer, and soon, the simplicity she craved began to disappear. Rumors also circulated that Ana wasn't comfortable with certain parts of Tom's personal world, especially his deep connection to Scientology. Though she never spoke about it publicly, insiders claimed it created quiet discomfort. Ana valued emotional freedom, individuality, and openness, ideas that didn't always fit within Tom's structured belief system. Tom, on the other hand, wasn't trying to control her out of malice. He simply lived by rules that had guided him for decades. He wanted someone who could fit into that framework, someone steady, predictable, aligned with his rhythm. Despite his generosity and charm, he found it hard to relax the reins, and so, the difference that once drew them closer now began to divide them. There were small moments, a canceled dinner because of a reshoot, a disagreement over privacy, a phone call cut short by work. Each time, Ana would smile, nod, and move on. But inside, she felt the growing weight of living in someone else's world. Tom noticed it too. He cared deeply, but he couldn't quite understand why things felt distant. For him, love meant commitment, discipline, and endurance, the same qualities he brought to his films. For Ana, love meant presence, emotion, and freedom, two powerful people, both right in their own way, but walking in opposite directions. Their chemistry was still undeniable, but the silence between them began to speak louder than their words. Nights that once felt magical started feeling heavy. Conversations grew shorter and smiles became polite. The fairy tale had begun to crack, not because they didn't love each other, but because they loved differently. Tom wanted control. Anna wanted calm. He needed order. She needed air. And in Hollywood, where every story has to look perfect, this one was quietly breaking apart behind the glamour. It wasn't dramatic. It was human. Two hearts trying to find a middle ground, realizing that sometimes love isn't enough to bridge two different worlds. As one insider said, they were never angry at each other, just out of sync. The tension beneath the glamour was real, and it was only a matter of time before the silence between them turned into goodbye. When the cracks began to show, Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas made a decision that surprised everyone. They didn't turn their heartbreak into headlines. There were no public statements, no cryptic tweets, no paparazzi-fueled meltdowns, just silence. In an industry that thrives on drama, their breakup was almost poetic, quiet, mature, and full of respect. Insiders close to the couple said that despite their differences, they parted ways with understanding, not bitterness. Tom, ever the gentleman, respected Anna's growing desire to focus on her craft and her personal journey. He knew she was entering the most important phase of her career, the moment where she could define herself on her own terms. And Anna, in turn, appreciated everything Tom had given her: support, inspiration, and a kind of love that, for a time, made her believe in fairy tales again. There was no explosive argument, no betrayal. Just two people looking at each other across the table one last time, realizing that their worlds no longer aligned. Love was still there, but love sometimes isn't enough. Anna's free spirit clashed too often with Tom's structured, demanding lifestyle. And Tom, who lived through the intense rhythms of fame for decades, found it hard to slow down. They cared deeply, but they simply existed on different frequencies. So, quietly and privately, they said goodbye. Those close to them say it was emotional, a mix of sadness and gratitude. Both knew they had shared something rare, something that couldn't be replicated. But they also knew that holding on would only hurt more. After the breakup, Tom didn't waste a second sulking. He threw himself into what he knew best: work. At that time, Top Gun: Maverick was nearing release, a film that would define not only his career, but his legacy. Tom became laser-focused, spending endless hours perfecting every detail, promoting the movie across continents, and reminding the world that no one does Hollywood quite like him, and it worked. When Top Gun: Maverick finally hit theaters, it wasn't just a movie. It was a phenomenon. The film smashed records, bringing in billions and reigniting the global love for classic, high-octane cinema. Critics called it Tom Cruise's comeback, but those who knew him said he never really left. Behind his bright red carpet smile, though, there was quiet reflection. Anna had left an imprint on him, one that didn't fade easily. People close to Tom said he often spoke of her with warmth and admiration, never resentment. Meanwhile, Anna began her own new chapter. Instead of hiding away, she embraced her independence with grace and courage. She moved to New York, away from the noise of Los Angeles, to rediscover herself. It was here that she began working on one of the most daring roles of her life, portraying Marilyn Monroe in Blonde. It was a performance that required vulnerability, pain, and total emotional surrender. Many believe that her heartbreak helped her channel the raw emotion audiences later saw on screen. The world applauded her, and critics hailed her as one of the most promising talents of her generation. Anna's transformation after the breakup was striking, not just professionally, but personally. She became more confident, more centered, more in control of her narrative. No longer someone's girlfriend, she was now Ana de Armas, the powerhouse, the artist, the survivor. As time passed, both stars moved on, not broken, but evolved. Tom continued to rule Hollywood, proving again and again that age is just a number. His charisma remained unmatched, his passion unshaken. Anna, on the other hand, flourished in her independence, working with acclaimed directors, gracing magazine covers, and living life on her own terms. Their love story never ended in scandal or bitterness. It ended in mutual respect. They didn't unfollow each other. They didn't erase memories. They simply let go with gratitude. In an industry addicted to drama, their breakup became something rare. A reminder that even in Hollywood, goodbyes don't always have to be loud. Sometimes the quietest endings are the most meaningful ones, and so, Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas walked away from each other's worlds, not as enemies, not as strangers, but as two people who once shared something beautiful in a world that rarely allows love to stay pure. They had fallen for each other in silence, and fittingly they said goodbye the same way. Today, the story of Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas remains one of Hollywood's most intriguing mysteries. A romance so private that few ever saw it, yet so genuine that everyone could somehow feel it once it was gone. It wasn't a love story made for tabloids. There were no messy headlines, no public meltdowns, no bitter interviews. What existed between them lived in quiet moments, stolen smiles on private jets, deep talks under dim restaurant lights, and shared laughter far from cameras. And though their relationship ended quietly, the echo of it still lingers. For Ana de Armas, the experience marked a turning point. She emerged from that chapter more centered, more aware of what she wanted, and what she would no longer compromise on. In later interviews, when she spoke about valuing peace, privacy, and balance, her words carried a quiet weight, as if learned through experience. She never mentioned Tom's name, but those who knew her sensed the story behind her calm smile. Hollywood had always admired Ana for her beauty and talent, but after her breakup, people saw something deeper: strength. She became a symbol of authenticity in an industry obsessed with image. Instead of chasing fame, she began protecting her inner world. She moved homes, distanced herself from paparazzi-heavy areas, and spoke openly about wanting a life filled with meaning, not noise. Her choice to live with intention resonated with millions. It showed that sometimes walking away, even from something beautiful, is an act of love for oneself. Tom Cruise, on the other hand, continued being Hollywood's unstoppable force. He returned to the sky with Top Gun, Maverick, and later into impossible missions that pushed human limits. On the surface, he seemed indestructible, the same fearless performer who never missed a step. But insiders close to Tom hinted that behind that steel-like discipline, there remained a quieter side, one that remembered. A side that, perhaps late at night, still thought of a woman who had once understood him not as the superstar, but as the man behind it all. Tom has always been known for his intensity, his passion, his ability to give everything to his work. Yet those who've watched him for decades say that after Ana, there was a subtle shift, a calmness, a new layer of reflection in the way he spoke about life and legacy. Maybe she reminded him that even in a world of lights and cameras, it's the human connection that truly matters. That's what makes their story so compelling. It wasn't about scandal or betrayal. It was about timing. Two extraordinary people who met at the wrong moment, in a world that rarely gives love room to breathe. Their worlds were just too different. One built on structure, the other on spontaneity. One lived for control, the other for freedom. Yet when they met, something beautiful happened. Two stars collided, creating a spark bright enough to light up Hollywood's sky, if only for a fleeting instant. In the aftermath, they didn't erase each other. They carried the lessons quietly, each walking forward with something of the other still in their hearts. Ana found her voice, a deeper, bolder one that speaks through her performances and her choices. She became her own story. Tom found renewed purpose, a reason to keep pushing limits, but perhaps with a softer understanding of what connection truly means. Maybe that's why their story endures. Because it reminds us that not every great love has to end in forever. Some are meant to shape us, to teach us, to prepare us for the versions of ourselves we were meant to become. In the end, their romance wasn't about fame or fantasy. It was about two real people finding a moment of truth in a world full of illusion. And when it was over, they didn't burn out. They glowed quietly, each carrying a piece of that light with them. So while their paths may never cross again, their story remains written, not in gossip columns or scandal sheets, but in the quiet corners of Hollywood's memory, because sometimes the most powerful love stories are the ones the world almost never saw. And that is the secret story behind Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas's hidden love affair, and their quiet, powerful goodbye.